the New York Knicks.
I want to be a part of it. New York, New York.
Alright,
No,
start spreading the news. Come.
The New York Knickerbockers, man. Like, what can we say? They have been, as Stephen A says, an abomination.
Yeah, for real.
For a couple of years, they've really struggled. The Phil Jackson thing, everyone was like, yeah, it's back, and it's taken a long time. But this season, with the off-season acquisitions of D.Rose, Noah, Courtney Lee, Brandon Jennings, you know, with in addition to what they already have with Melo and Porzingis, I think they kept, did they keep Langston? No, is it Galloway or Thomas?
Galloway.
One of them went to the Pelicans, and yeah, Langston Galloway. Sorry, they got Lance Thomas stayed, and Lance Thomas stayed. Yeah, they've got some pieces that, you know, should make the playoffs, and actually should be looking decent, in particular in the East, but in general. They definitely, I expect them to win a lot more games than they did the past couple of years. And I think with Jeff Hornacek at the helm, with the freedom to not have this triangle noose around his neck, although there are still elements.
What I'm saying,
there are still elements of the triangle.
I mean? Last year, as you know, man was calling it the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah, the Bermuda Triangle. You know, it really is not,
because they were lost in that.
Yeah,
they did. Lance Thomas stayed.
Lance Thomas stayed, yeah. Because Galloway went to Pelicans, yeah.
But yes, how much freedom is he really gonna have?
Well, from pre-season, well, even before pre-season, from looking at or listening to the chat when he signed, it did seem as though Phil Jackson had finally realised, okay, I still want elements of this triangle thing. I still need to be part of our style, but this triangle grip that I've had on everyone who's associated with the Knicks might not be the way to go. That was the chat, we thought, whatever. But so far, looking at how they're playing and looking at the acquisitions they have and working with everyone's strengths, in particular D.Rose, and based on what I'm seeing in the eye test, it does seem to be that Hornacek has more freedom to kind of run his ideas, even though there's still elements of the triangle, because that's part of the brand. As long as Phil is there, that's going to be part of the brand. But it's not like before where it was like triangle or else. Do you know what I mean? Like, it has to be a triangle. So that being said, they do look better. I can imagine them being a lot more fluid. Obviously, at the moment, we haven't seen as much D.Rose because of his off-court situation, which we'll get into.
yeah.
But and you know, I'll come to that as well. But you know, Noah. Let's start with Noah. Noah has had a bad couple of years. Now, even aside from the injury last year, the year before he had a knee issue, and he was. You know, at one point I was saying like no one misses more layups than Noah. It got to a point. Ever since he had that season, was it 3 years ago when he came in 4th in MVP rating and was Defensive Player of the Year, it basically has just been a big downhill slide since then.
For sure.
Now, the only thing I would say is, earlier on this year, I think the turn of the year, from January, between January and when he re-injured that shoulder, he started to turn a corner and started to show signs of that old Noah. And he even started to get a little bit more of his offense back. All in all though, I'm kind of concerned if he's going to be able to sustain that level of the old Noah.
And also given the intensity that he plays with, and the fact that that's also a homecoming.
Yes, he's a New Yorker as well.
Yeah, which brings another level out of anybody, really.
So I mean, I'm saying this. It'd be good to see him return to that level, and I hope he does. But looking at how it's been, and also his age, because Noah he's definitely 32 now, right?
Yeah, because he's up in the
He's definitely 32 now, I'm sure.
31.
31.
No, we don't know what his
32 this season,
so
right?
he'll be 32.
He'll be 32 this season. So, again, you know, with him is that defensive intensity, and it's what he brings in terms of his energy. So if you can do that, obviously that's going to be a vital thing for the Knicks. You know, with D.Rose, this is a big one for me. Because even if he didn't leave Chicago, I predicted from about 3 years ago that this would be the season that D.Rose will just completely return to his form. And D.Rose is another person who the media have had this doom and gloom. It's over, the knee surgeries, blah, 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 crazy. It's finished.
Yeah, the D.Rose thing's been kind of crazy. Yeah. That's what they've been doing that, not even to cut you, but that's where they've been doing that whole... Remember we first discovered it with the Blake Griffin thing? Yeah. Whereas you saw him at one point performing at a particular level, and all you've done is distilled that memory and just continued with that same...
You're frozen in that.
Right, you're frozen in that moment, and you've just continued with that throughout the whole time, regardless of what you're actually seeing.
So even though there's blatantly been improvements... Like, and to explain what you mean about the Blake Griffin thing, there was a time quite a few years ago where Blake Griffin didn't have much of a post-up or face-up game. He didn't have much elements to his game, and people would just say all he does is dunk. Now, Blake Griffin then added a post-up game, added a face-up game, added a mid-range, even added a little free, added handle, added passing. And for about 3 years, while Blake Griffin was demonstrating all of these attributes, people were still saying all he does is dunk. It's like you're just stuck. And this is what I'm saying about the media. Don't just follow what they say. Look at what you're seeing for yourself. You see what I'm saying? Because we were watching Blake Griffin throughout the second year, the third year, and we were saying, oh no, he's facing up now. He's got quite a lot of moves around the rim. He's got a nice touch. He's got a nice mid-range jumper now, a couple threes. But yet people were still just stuck. Oh, all he does is dunk. And then it takes like 3, 4, 5 years later, you then just begin to see,
realize,
that he's added a jumper to his game. Same thing happened with D.Rose. Now D.Rose is still unbelievably explosive. D.Rose is still unbelievably quick. D.Rose is still amazing. But here's the difference with D.Rose. What D.Rose done, instead of coming back and brucking up himself and looking to go 100 miles an hour, he realised, okay, I have had these issues with these surgeries. He was still young. This is what a lot of people miss. Had this have happened when he's 30, everything that everyone's saying, fine.
It would be right.
This happened when he was young. So what he done was he took time. Some people criticised him for it, but he knew what he was doing. He took time to rehab and eased his way back in the first year. Only playing, I think it was 50 games. Eased his way back in the second year. And then last year he played like 66 games, 65 games. And, you know, he had those games, I think he had a couple 30-point games. And he had those flashes where he was demonstrating, okay, it's still there. This is the season where I predicted he would fully unleash. Now, this is the time based on the gradual build-up coming back from the injuries. B, it's a contract year. C, now he's got that extra fire because he was traded from his hometown to New York. So I'm telling you, everyone's fronting on D.Rose, mate. Be prepared to eat your hats.
I like how I was going to say, remember who he was training with in the off season,
That's another thing. Not even just this off season. He trains with Russell Westbrook in the off season. That's who he trains with. And listen to what Russell Westbrook himself has to say about their sessions. So a lot of people again getting it the whole D.Rose
and getting swept up and carried away,
and not really not really analysing what you're seeing, not really looking at the whole thing on a whole, not really putting in certain factors to the whole D.Rose story. And like I said, I expect D.Rose to really shock a lot of people because I saw it last year. I saw it. I'm like, you know what? This guy's actually still got it. He's actually still got it for real. But people follow the media and they follow what everyone says. Oh, it's over in the knees and all the comments online and all the rest of it. But trust me.
I said, hopefully he's not too adversely affected by these other issues.
and doesn't distract his focus.
And doesn't become distracted, all this other stuff that's sort of following him at the moment.
But
Knicks is interesting.
Just a quick side note, Porzingis as well, he's looking very good. You know, had a solid rookie campaign and is looking to take the next step.
Oh, for sure.
As someone who's a 7'3" guy who can murk the putback dunks, who can shoot threes, who can block shots, and he's very young. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
On another side note, what I would say though is I think Melo is smart to adapt his game, but Melo needs to still step up and be that guy.
Oh, 100%.
Melo deferred a bit too much for my liking last year.
Yeah.
I'm impressed with what Porzingis' upside is and also his performance. I think, as I've just broken down with the acquisitions of Noah and Rose, and we didn't even mention Courtney Lee at the two, and Brandon Jennings, who's hungry to be coming in and doing what these guys are serious. I think that they can be decent, but Melo is still Melo's team, and Melo needs to be that guy. You know, he needs to step up.
He does need to step
not
up.
defer so much.
100%.
Yeah.
100% agree.
Yeah, because he's still one of the #1 guys as far as offense in the league. Do you know what I mean? Like, literally. So.
It's true. And he is starting to look a bit different now.
Yeah.
And, you know, he is towards the latter end of his career.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? You do need to cement your position as like, listen, this is what I do.
Yeah, Melo needs to step up and not defer so much. Too many times I'm seeing Melo stats, and I'm seeing Porzingis' stats, and I'm seeing other people's stats, and I'm like, no, you're Carmelo Anthony. Like, you're the guy, and you still have that ability. So I think if he steps up and all the other pieces fall into place, which I can't see any reason why they wouldn't, definite playoff team. And could make a little noise.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe in the second round team.
Good to watch. You know. Oh, definitely good to watch.
100%.
Okay, cool. All right, who should we tackle next?